How we doing on this Friday afternoon, Vol Nation? This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. We are a little over 24 hours away. Tennessee, Florida. A lot on the line. A lot on the line. If you're a Tennessee Volunteers team, you got to come in, I think, wanting to prove a point after last week. After a big letdown, maybe you had a week to hear how great you were. And, I don't know. You got to give Arkansas credit along the way. You're a Florida team. You've won a couple in a row. You're feeling good about yourself. But is this a week, though? People were saying coming in, would Billy Napier make it to Knoxville? Now they beat Mississippi State. They beat Central Florida teams, albeit they should have beat. They're feeling high. They're feeling good about things. But we know Florida doesn't like to lose Tennessee, and they don't lose Tennessee in football often. Could a big loss to Tennessee, though, end the Napier era? I'm going to talk about that here in just a minute, but make sure you hit that thumbs up you like. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Lots of, this thing's about to get busy with football, basketball, getting ready to start here at the end of the month. Then baseball, softball, year round. This thing goes year round. Can the Vols put the Napier era to rest? I'm going to look at that tomorrow night, or we're going to look at that as they go tomorrow night. Coming into this game, Tennessee, the last I saw, was a 15.5-point favorite. I do not remember a time Tennessee has been that big of a favorite in this game. It would have been more had they beaten Arkansas last week, as they should have. And I'll still say it. I don't think that was a great team that beat Tennessee last week. Arkansas fans come in, the way they talked, it was the 85 Bears we faced last week. How could you? How could you say that about us? We should be 6-0 right now. Well, you're not. And but you beat Tennessee. Hats off to you. Does Tennessee have issues right now? Yes. That offense, we've seen it a couple weeks in a row. I think we've seen a little bit of signs against NC State. They corrected that, got it going. Oklahoma, though, things not great. They ran for right at 150 in that game. Nico was under 200 passing. That was not a great effort. Last week, now Dylan Sampson was over 100. The running game was better last week. The passing game was worse. The blocking was worse last week. What's the problem in all of it? To me, you've got to do a better job calling the plays. If you know your offensive line is a problem, if you know you've got a quarterback who can run, why are you not utilizing that? Somebody's got to tell me this. Why are you not utilizing that? I don't get it, and I don't get what they've been trying to accomplish with their plays the last couple of weeks. If this three-man front with three linebackers bringing these safeties, we know we're going to get that look. You've got to prepare for it. You've got to think Tennessee's prepared for it. Maybe it's Nico's not seen this look, and he doesn't know what to do with it. Nico's got to realize he does not have time. He does not have the time right now. You've got to get it out. And I'll tell you this, if it's Joey Halsley, if it's Josh Heupel, or whoever's calling the plays, they're doing a disservice if they're calling plays that take a while to develop down the field. If you're your wide receivers, you got to get open and help him out. We talk about last week, I don't know how many times there were holding calls they got away with. Now, is there times Tennessee probably got away with holds? They probably did. I mean, you got to think it, but there's on camera numerous times it showed Arkansas holding Tennessee and they got away with. Is that why they won the game? No, absolutely not. Tennessee did not deserve to win that football game last week. But you've got a combination of a line not really getting the job done blocking. You've got a quarterback not making good decisions. You got receivers not getting open as well. And frankly, you've got a coaching staff not doing this offense any justice or any favors right now. Here's what I like going into tomorrow night, though. This Tennessee team is getting their first SEC home game. Couldn't come at a better time, and it really couldn't come against a better team because this is an important game. If you're Josh Heupel and you lose this game tomorrow night, the pressure is going to get on you because then next week you got Alabama coming in. That's not really who you need coming in on a 2-game losing streak. This is a game Tennessee should absolutely win tomorrow night, and really they should win it going away. We know how this series goes. That's why I'll make my prediction at the end, and it'll be close. It will be a close one as well. We made predictions the other night, on Monday night, on our live show. Backwoods, Tennessee said 35-21. I think Kerry went, what was he, around 35 35, 34-16, something in that nature. I'm going to be a whole lot closer this week just because, I lost some confidence last week. But here's the one thing about it. The Napier era has been up and down. Miami drilled Florida. Texas A&M drilled Florida. Both of them were in the swamp. The natives are restless. I've talked to Florida fans. It's like, we like Napier, but he's just not a good coach. He's still here. Why is he still here? So it's like, if you're Tennessee, at some point, though, here's what you got to figure with Florida. If you get Napier run off this weekend, and I'll be honest, I think it's going to take an absolute beatdown for it to happen. If it's a close game or a respectable game, Napier's not gone. He may not survive after the season. I think it's going to have to be something pretty bad for him to get run off this week, to be honest with you. But could Tennessee end the Napier era? I think they could. But you're facing a team, Graham Mertz. He's very accurate. And I was reading today about Florida's only given up 5 sacks this year. Can Tennessee get to Mertz and cause some problems? Last year they couldn't. Florida's offensive line dominated Tennessee's defense. If I'm Tennessee's defense, I got to feel pretty hungry coming into last week because there was no unit last week that played well. So we got a lot of questions coming into this week, a lot of them with answers to come. Can this Tennessee offense turn it around? Can this defense get back on track and not have the self-inflicted wounds that they had last week with their linebacker losing coverage? Secondary had their worst game yet. The defensive line, they allowed Arkansas to get out and go a little bit more than I expected last week. And then our special teams, can't blame Max Gilbert. You can't blame Josh Turbyfield, but Jackson Ross, he boots one into the end zone. Our punt return game has been horrific. I saw where Squirrel White, Brew McCoy are probable this week. We heard about Boo Carter being this great return man. Got to get Squirrel White out. He's hurting the punt return game right now. He's not the option for it. He let one go last week that resulted in about a 20-yard further gain for Arkansas. He fielded one at Oklahoma. We're lucky it was not a fumble. Let's give Boo Carter a chance. Let's get him out and let him go on it. But coming into the prediction, can Tennessee put an end to the Napier era? If they absolutely annihilate Florida this weekend, they can. I don't think it goes that way, though. I know how this series goes. This Tennessee team has gone into conservative mode, calling plays against decent teams. Florida they have talent. Don't get me wrong on that. I don't think they're that great of a team. I said that about Arkansas, too, and we saw what happened. But Florida's going to have talent. They're going to have talent on both lines. How can they affect Nico? In turn, can Tennessee get to Graham Mertz? If you give him time back there, again, he's extremely accurate. He can make you pay where they're at. I am picking Tennessee because it's at home. If it was on the road, I don't know that I would pick Tennessee in this game. I'm going back to 98, Tennessee 20, Florida 17. I'm going to say the Napier era lives on. Somebody at some point, though, probably ends that before it's all said and done. My guess on it is that they're playing close games. Napier gets through to the end of the year, but their admin, from what I've seen, is just a mess right now. So I don't know. I know the fan base is going to be chomping at the bit to end this era. But sometimes you better be careful what you're wishing for, because Florida will get it right at some point. They haven't gotten it right in a while. I'm not so sure Mullen wasn't better than they gave. He'd had some pretty good years. He had the one bad year and they got rid of him. So, we'll see. You get what you get sometimes. But I'm going to wrap up on that one. And we'll put the descriptions in the video for the memberships, the Patreon, and if you want to say thanks with the super thanks in the bottom right corner, that's appreciated as well. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.